He's looking for diamonds in the rough. With Lee Cowan, meet American picker Mike Wolfe.
American pickers made him rich and famous, then it all came crashing down. Mike Wolfe's divorce cost him $5.8 million. His friend Frank died after their bitter feud. Now his store has mysteriously closed, and fans are asking, is the show even real? From fake finds to angry neighbors, the truth about Mike Wolfe is finally coming out, and it's nothing like what you see on TV. Mike Wolfe was born on June 11, 1964, in Joliet, Illinois. When he was young, his family moved to Bendorf, Iowa, where he grew up with his siblings, Beth and Robbie. His mother, Rita, raised them alone, working hard to support the family. Money was tight, but Wolfe never let that hold him back. He found opportunity in the most unexpected places. To avoid bullies on his way to school, he took a different route, cutting through alleys and backyards. That's where he first noticed something that others ignored: items people had thrown away. At just 6 years old, he spotted a banana seat bicycle lying in the weeds behind a neighbor's house. He pulled it out, cleaned it up, pumped the tires, and sold it for $5. It wasn't just about the money, it was the thrill of finding something valuable where no one else had bothered to look. That moment sparked something inside him. As he got older, he spent more time searching for old bicycles, furniture, and antiques. While other kids were playing sports or watching TV, Wolfe was dragging home rusty bikes and broken-down chairs, determined to fix them up. His mother saw his passion and let him use the family garage as a workshop. He wasn't just collecting junk, he was learning how to restore and sell. His love for bicycles even led him to open a bike shop before shifting his focus entirely to antiques. By 2000, Wolfe decided to turn his lifelong hobby into a business. He opened Antique Archaeology in LeClaire, Iowa, a shop filled with unique finds from his picking adventures. He spent his days exploring barns, garages, and abandoned buildings, searching for lost pieces of history. Business grew steadily, but everything changed in 2010 when American Pickers premiered on the History Channel. The show was an instant success. Audiences loved watching Wolfe and his team uncover forgotten treasures hidden across America. But it wasn't just about antiques, it was about the stories behind them, the history, the craftsmanship, and the people who once owned them. As American Pickers gained popularity, antique archaeology expanded. Wolfe opened a second location in Nashville, Tennessee, inside a restored car manufacturing plant. The space became more than just a store, it was a destination where history lovers could connect with the past. Wolfe built his business on a simple idea: find lost pieces of history, restore them, and connect them with people who appreciate their significance. His ability to spot valuable items and tell their stories turned antique archaeology into something bigger than a shop. Beyond antiques, he launched Two Lanes, a clothing brand inspired by road trips and small-town America. He also wrote Kid Pickers, a book encouraging children to explore history through collecting. But his passion didn't stop there. Wolfe wanted to do more than just sell antiques, he wanted to save America's past. Through projects like This Place Matters, a campaign with the National Trust for Historic Preservation, he worked to restore historic buildings and small-town landmarks. In LeClaire, he took a 1947 Chevy dealership and transformed it into a retail space while keeping its original character. In Columbia, Tennessee, he helped bring life back to forgotten buildings, showing that history could be preserved without losing its purpose. Mike Wolfe's journey to create American Pickers started long before the cameras rolled. He wasn't just another reality TV host chasing fame, he was a lifelong picker, someone who saw value in what others discarded. Wolfe spent decades traveling back roads, digging through barns and garages, and uncovering relics of America's past. He didn't just collect things, he collected stories. He filmed his adventures, capturing the thrill of discovery and the personal histories behind each item. Those videos became the backbone of his pitch to television networks. He wasn't selling just a show, he was selling a vision, a way to make history exciting by connecting it to the everyday people who unknowingly preserved it. For 5 years, Wolfe pitched his idea with no success. Most networks didn't see the appeal of two guys driving around looking for antiques, but he refused to give up. He knew there was something special in what he was doing. In 2009, his persistence finally paid off. The History Channel saw the potential, and within months, American Pickers was born. When the show premiered on January 18, 2010, it was an instant hit. The first episode drew 3.1 million viewers, making it the History Channel's most successful debut since Ice Road Truckers. Within weeks, that number climbed to nearly 4 million. The timing was perfect. Shows like Pawn Stars were already proving that history-based reality TV could work, and American Pickers fit right into that wave. But what set it apart was its heart. This wasn't just a show about buying and selling, it was about the people, the places, and the forgotten pieces of history hiding in plain sight. A huge part of the show's success came from Wolfe's partnership with Frank Fritz. The two had known each other since middle school, bonding over their shared love for antiques. They both grew up without fathers and found common ground in the thrill of the hunt. When Wolfe developed American Pickers, Fritz was the natural choice for a co-host. His easygoing personality and love for quirky collectibles, everything from antique toys to oil cans, added a layer of humor and warmth to the show. He had a way of making people feel comfortable on camera, which helped bring out the best stories from collectors. Their chemistry made the show feel authentic. It wasn't scripted drama or forced interactions, it was two longtime friends doing what they loved, and audiences connected with that. Even when tensions later led to his departure in 2021, his role in shaping the show's early success was undeniable. Beyond its engaging hosts, American Pickers stood out because of its unique format. Each episode was more than a treasure hunt, it was a journey through history. Instead of just focusing on the monetary value of an item, Wolfe made sure the show explored its cultural significance. Where did it come from? Who owned it? Why was it important? This storytelling approach transformed seemingly ordinary objects into powerful links to the past. The show also carried a message of sustainability. Picking wasn't just about making money, it was about giving old items a second life. In an age of mass production and disposable culture, American Pickers reminded viewers that the past still had value, not just in dollars, but in meaning. From the very beginning, American Pickers redefined how history could be told on television. It wasn't about textbooks or museums, it was about everyday people, forgotten treasures, and the stories hidden in the most unexpected places. Mike Wolfe and Frank Fritz spent over a decade traveling together, turning rusted junk into valuable finds on American Pickers. Their partnership helped make the show a hit, but behind the scenes, their friendship started to fall apart. By 2020, things had reached a breaking point. That year, Fritz stopped appearing on the show. At first, there was no explanation. Fans hoped he would return, but months passed, and he never did. In July 2021, Wolfe announced on Instagram that Fritz was officially out. He called their journey one filled with ups and downs but said Fritz would be missed. Fritz didn't believe a word of it. In an interview, he called Wolfe's statement "bulls." Later, Fritz revealed that he and Wolfe hadn't spoken in 2 years. Even after Fritz underwent major back surgery in 2020, Wolfe never checked in. "He knew my back was messed up, but he didn't call me up and ask how I was doing," Fritz said. He felt abandoned by someone he had known for over 40 years. There was more to the feud than silence. Fritz believed the show had become completely focused on Wolfe. "It's tilted towards him 1000%, he said. He compared their dynamic to a band where Wolfe was always the frontman while he played backup. But health problems made things even worse. Fritz had battled Crohn's disease for years, a condition that left him weak and often in pain. In 2020, he had back surgery that kept him off the road. During that time, he became addicted to painkillers. The network had strict rules about drug use, and Fritz reportedly failed mandatory screenings. That gave them another reason to keep him off the show. Still, Fritz insisted he hadn't quit, he had been fired. The feud played out in public. Fritz accused Wolfe of pushing him aside in favor of his brother, Robbie Wolfe, who had started appearing more on American Pickers. Wolfe, on the other hand, said he had tried to support Fritz and had even encouraged him to get help. He called the falling out painful and compared it to losing a brother. By mid-2021, it was official, the History Channel confirmed Fritz's departure. Fans were upset. They had watched him and Wolfe travel across America for over 300 episodes since the show's debut in 2010. To many, the show wasn't the same without him. Some started petitions demanding his return, but by then, Fritz's health had become a bigger concern than television. Then, in July 2022, tragedy struck. Fritz suffered a severe stroke that left him partially paralyzed and bedridden. His condition never improved. On September 30, 2024, at age 60, he passed away. Despite everything, Wolfe was reportedly by his side in the end. They had reconnected privately in May 2023. After Fritz's passing, Wolfe posted a tribute on Instagram, calling him a dreamer who was just as sensitive as he was funny. Mike Wolfe made a name for himself digging through barns and backyards, uncovering lost treasures on American Pickers. But over the years, his reputation has faced challenges. Some fans question whether the show is as real as it seems, while others criticize how he runs his business. More recently, his efforts to restore a small town sparked backlash. These controversies haven't stopped him, but they have changed how people see him. One of the biggest debates in American Pickers history happened during the episode Shelby in the Barn, which aired in 2016. The episode followed Wolfe and his colleague, John S., as they searched for a Chevy neon sign in Alabama. Instead, they stumbled upon a rare 1967 Shelby Mustang GT 500, a car that had reportedly been sitting untouched for over 40 years. The discovery seemed too good to be true, and fans quickly raised questions. Viewers took to Facebook and Reddit, wondering how such a rare car could appear so conveniently on camera. Some believe production staff scouted locations ahead of time and prearranged finds to make the show more exciting. Others pointed out that reality TV always involves some level of planning, but this particular scene felt staged. The financial details added to the doubts. Even in poor condition, the Mustang was worth about $75,000. Restoring it would cost over $100,000. Wolfe offered to buy it, but the owner refused, saying it had sentimental value. This only fueled speculation. Some fans believed the setup was scripted to create drama, while others argued that moments like this were necessary to keep the show interesting. Either way, it became one of the most talked about finds in American pickers' history. Wolfe's business practices have also come under fire. In 2022, a customer accused his store, Antique Archaeology, of backing out of a sale to accept a higher offer. They had placed an order through the website, received a confirmation, and then suddenly got a refund without an explanation. Suspicious, they filed a complaint with the Better Business Bureau, writing, "I suspect they accepted a higher offer. I just want them to honor the purchase like they originally did." Antique Archaeology responded, saying two people had bought the same item on January 21, 2022, within hours of each other. A technical glitch allowed both payments to go through before the system could update the inventory, and as a result, the second order was refunded. Despite this explanation, some customers remained frustrated. Complaints about the store weren't new. Over the years, many have criticized the high prices, with some pointing out that simple vintage signs sell for $900 and branded socks cost $18. Even though the business brings in about $900,000 per year, these issues have made some people question Wolfe's ethics. After the online order controversy, his team promised to improve the website to prevent similar problems. But the most heated criticism Wolfe has faced has nothing to do with his show or his store, it's about his role in changing Columbia, Tennessee. In 2012, he bought a historic home there for $700,000 and spent over $1 million restoring it to its original design. That was just the beginning. He also bought multiple properties, including a 2-lanes vacation rental and a bike shop, as part of his plan to bring new business to the town. Some people appreciate his efforts, but not everyone is happy. Critics say he is driving up property values and changing Columbia's identity. Concerns grew even stronger when plans surfaced for a $9.83 million, 6-story condo project. Some residents worry their small-town charm is disappearing, while others fear they will be priced out of their own community. Wolfe sees his work as a way to preserve history while creating economic opportunities. He often posts updates on social media, sharing his restoration projects and showing off his classic car collection, which includes a 1959 Chevrolet El Camino worth $42,400. But his passion for vintage treasures hasn't silenced the criticism. The debate over his impact on Columbia continues, and for many, it raises a bigger question: when does revitalization turn into gentrification? Mike Wolfe has spent years searching for forgotten treasures across America, but his personal life has had its own struggles. He married Jody Faith in 2012, and for nearly a decade, they built a life together. Their marriage faced serious challenges, including Jody's battle with stage 2 non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. She was diagnosed in 2013 and fought through treatment for years before being declared cancer-free in 2020. But despite overcoming that fight together, their relationship didn't last. They separated in June 2020, and by December 2021, their divorce was finalized. The reason was listed as irreconcilable differences. The settlement was significant. Jody received over $5.8 million in cash, along with properties in Tennessee and North Carolina. She was also granted royalties from American Pickers and $2,100 in monthly child support. She got primary custody of their daughter, Charlie, but Mike has remained an active and devoted father. He often shares moments with Charlie on social media, showing his love for her and his commitment to being present despite his demanding career. The divorce was a difficult chapter, but it also pushed him to grow. On November 6, 2024, Mike turned 60. His girlfriend, Letitia Clean, celebrated the occasion with heartfelt messages about his journey and accomplishments. For Mike, this birthday was more than just another year, it was a chance to step back and reflect on what truly matters. He had spent decades on the road hunting for antiques and telling the stories of forgotten history, but now his focus had shifted. He spoke about valuing the small circle of people around him and prioritizing meaningful relationships over work. Even with this change in perspective, his passion for picking remained as strong as ever. He still traveled across the country, searching for rare finds and meeting people with incredible stories. Turning 60 didn't slow him down. If anything, it gave him a deeper appreciation for the journey. Mike Wolfe has always been on the move, searching for forgotten treasures and uncovering history one pick at a time. But 2025 started with an unexpected challenge. His Nashville antique store, Antique Archaeology, closed suddenly in February. The reason given was a gas leak caused by nearby construction, something completely out of his control. The store's team posted an apology on social media, letting customers know they were working on fixing the issue. They promised updates on when they'd reopen, but as of late February, no official date had been set. Fans immediately started asking questions. Some believed the closure was temporary and would be resolved soon. Others wondered if something bigger was happening behind the scenes. With retail businesses struggling across the country and American pickers facing declining ratings in recent years, speculation grew. Could this be a sign that Wolfe was shifting focus? Could the store be in trouble beyond just the construction issues? These were the kinds of questions being asked, even though no official statement hinted at anything more than a temporary closure. For years, the Nashville store has been more than just a place to buy antiques. Sitting in Marathon Village, a historic part of the city, it has been a must-visit spot for fans of the show and lovers of vintage finds. Alongside its sister store in LeClaire, Iowa, it has been a key part of Wolfe's brand, a physical extension of his passion for uncovering forgotten pieces of history. But no matter how successful a business is, running a physical store comes with risks. Unexpected closures, rising costs, and changes in customer habits all play a role in how long a store can survive. Wolfe has been in the business long enough to understand this, and while he has not commented on the long-term future of the Nashville store, fans are hoping it reopens sooner rather than later. The store closure was just one part of a much bigger year for Wolfe. 2024 had already been an emotional one, marked by personal loss and big life changes. In September, his longtime friend and former American Pickers co-star, Frank Fritz, passed away. Their relationship had been complicated in recent years after Fritz left the show in 2020 due to health issues. There had been tension between the two, but despite their differences, Wolfe was there in his final moments, holding his hand as he passed. It was a reminder of the deep history they shared. They had built something special together, turning their love for antiques into a show that inspired millions. But even with all these personal changes, Wolfe is not slowing down. American Pickers is heading back on the road, with filming set to resume in South Carolina in February 2025. Producers have invited locals to participate, encouraging people with unique collections and interesting stories to reach out. This signals an effort to bring fresh energy to the show, something that could be important given that its viewership has seen declines in recent years. But Wolfe has always believed in the power of what he does. He has spent decades searching through barns, garages, and forgotten storage units, all in the hopes of finding something special. Beyond the show, he continues to expand his business ventures. Two Lanes Guest House, his boutique rental property, and Columbia Motor Alley, a vintage-inspired space for classic car enthusiasts, are both still key parts of his work. Even as he balances these different projects, his passion for uncovering history remains at the center of everything he does. Mike Wolfe is best known for American Pickers, but his passion for history goes far beyond the TV screen. He has spent years turning his love for antiques into something much bigger. From writing books to restoring buildings, he has dedicated his life to preserving the past in ways that reach millions of people. One of his biggest projects outside of television is Kid Pickers, a book he wrote to inspire children to explore history through antiques. He wants kids to see old objects not just as things but as stories waiting to be uncovered. The book teaches them how to find hidden treasures, research their history, and understand why these pieces of the past matter. It reflects the way Wolfe himself sees the world, not just as a collector, but as a storyteller who wants to pass down knowledge to future generations. His love for history also led him to create Antique Archaeology, a brand that extends beyond picking. He sells a range of apparel and accessories inspired by his adventures. Fans can buy hats, t-shirts, and other items that reflect the spirit of discovery that American Pickers is all about. But this is more than just merchandise, it connects people to his journey and lets them be part of the world he has built. He runs two physical stores, one in LeClaire, Iowa, and another in Nashville, Tennessee. Both locations are filled with unique finds from his travels, making them more than just shops, they are places where history comes alive. But Wolfe isn't just interested in collecting and selling old things. He is determined to save the places where history was made. He works closely with the National Trust for Historic Preservation, using his platform to raise awareness about buildings and landmarks that are at risk of being lost forever. One of the biggest campaigns he has supported is This Place Matters, which encourages people to protect historical sites that tell America's story. His passion for preservation goes beyond raising awareness. He takes direct action by purchasing and restoring historic buildings himself. In Columbia, Tennessee, he bought a 1947 Chevy dealership that had been sitting empty for years. Instead of tearing it down or modernizing it beyond recognition, he carefully restored it while keeping its original character intact. Now, it serves as a retail space, but more importantly, it stands as proof that old buildings don't have to be destroyed to have new life. Wolfe has also put millions of dollars into revitalizing small towns. He knows that when old buildings disappear, communities lose more than just structures, they lose businesses, memories, and a sense of identity. That's why he invests in places like LeClaire, Iowa, and Columbia, Tennessee, not just by restoring buildings but by helping to create a future for these towns. One of his biggest initiatives is Nashville's Big Backyard, a project designed to bring economic growth to small towns with fewer than 5,000 residents. This program stretches from Muscle Shoals, Alabama, to Leapers Fork, Tennessee, helping these communities attract remote workers and tourists by securing funding for marketing, tourism, and infrastructure. Wolfe is making sure that these places don't just survive, they thrive. His passion for saving history doesn't stop with antiques and buildings. He is also deeply devoted to collecting and preserving vintage motorcycles. His love for bikes started when he was 13. He secretly bought his first motorcycle without telling his mother, and from that moment on, he was hooked. Over the years, his collection has grown to include more than 130 antique motorcycles. Some of the rarest models he owns include a 1913 Indian Twin and a 1934 Harley-Davidson VL. Wolfe is particularly drawn to pre-1920 American motorcycles because they represent the earliest days of motorized transportation. He doesn't just collect these bikes, he carefully preserves them. Unlike many collectors who fully restore old motorcycles to look brand new, Wolfe prefers to keep them in their original condition. To him, every scratch, dent, and bit of rust tells a story. He believes that preserving their authenticity is just as important as keeping them running. His love for motorcycles isn't just about collecting, he actually rides them. He takes vintage bikes on long scenic trips across the country, connecting with other enthusiasts who share his appreciation for history on two wheels. He has even collaborated with museums like Wheels Through Time in Maggie Valley, North Carolina, helping to showcase rare and historically significant motorcycles. In January 2025, Wolfe made headlines when he decided to auction off 62 motorcycles from his collection at Mecum Auctions in Las Vegas. This wasn't just about selling, it was part of a shift in focus for him. Instead of holding on to every piece, he wanted to concentrate on specific eras of motorcycle history and give other collectors the chance to own something special. He sees these bikes as more than just machines. To him, they are storytellers that capture the spirit of innovation and adventure from another time. Everything Wolfe does, whether it's picking antiques, restoring buildings, or collecting motorcycles, comes down to the same goal. He wants to make sure history isn't forgotten. He wants people to see the value in old things, not just because they are rare or expensive, but because they have meaning.